Welcome to the No Mongol Podcast, a weekly show about all things skateboarding. My name is Rick Beta. My guest today, he's a professional skateboarder, ambassador to Skate Pal, co-founder of Skate After School, a fellow skate podcaster, and the creator of Slow Impact. So needless to say, I'm excited to talk to this amazing human today. So Ryan Lay joins me today. Ryan, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thank you so much. That's was a really heartwarming introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Well, yeah, well deserved, man. You've done a lot. It was a mouthful. I knew it was gonna be a challenge to get all that in for you, but I had to, you know.
Yeah, I'm like okay at a bunch of things, interdisciplinary.
Hey, there's some good stuff in there, man. There's some good stuff, but I know I had a couple different directions I wanted to go with this interview, but I think we'll just start with the most important question. I mean, how are you doing?
I'm good right now. I actually am coming off of an injury, so I'm in a weird mental state. I bruised the shit out of my heel New Year's Eve, not partying, jumping down a big gap, and I which was stupid of me. I should have known better. So yeah, destroyed my heel and then spent, the first 2 months of the year basically just planning that event and hoping that I could skate, and miraculously healing enough to skate just for the 3 days of the event. And then the sci-fi team was here, jumped down a 10 stair, first try, blew up my heel again. So I'm back on the injured list, and I'm just now kind of able to walk again, coming like 2 weeks off of that. So it's been a slow start. I was like really motivated to work on skate stuff. I think, same feeling that a lot of people have going into the new year is like, oh, you're really excited to work on different projects. And I've kind of like redirected some of my energy and taken some work off of my shoulders at Skate After School so that I could focus on skating. And now I'm just kind of here putzing around the house and, renovating things and waiting till I'm healthy enough to skate.
Yeah, dude. Well, you kind of were mentioned one of the things I mean, have you recovered? I know you're recovering from skateboarding, but have you recovered from Slow Impact yet?
Yeah, it took me like a week of eating a weed gummy every night before bed and trying to sleep for 10 to 12 hours. But there was also all sorts of like cleaning that needed to be sorted out and, party pickup kind of things. So yeah, I'm feeling good now. And we're actually like just about to put out the panels. So, there's little loose ends that need to be tied up, and obviously like any good big ambitious event is going to create a lot of content, which is like a good problem to have. So we're just sorting through that, picking through it, and trying to figure out what the good parts are and trying to get that out so that we can, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to speak too early, but maybe try to look towards next year.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think I remember you saying like if you had like 50 people show up to this event, Slow Impact we're talking about for those tuned in, but that would be kind of a success in your eyes. But from what I heard, from what I saw, I mean, you had way more than that. I mean, were you surprised to have such a huge turnout?
I was. Yeah, you have absolutely no way of knowing with an inaugural event like what the turnout will be. And even like an hour before our kind of like kickoff at Mitchell Skate Park, I really just had no idea other than, loose numbers of friends from online and skate Twitter that I knew were coming out here. And I was like, maybe they'll be bringing some friends as well, but really just hard to gauge. And, you could try an Eventbrite or some sort of RSVP, but skateboarders are just not going to do that. So yeah, it was a much more successful turnout than I could have imagined, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I know it's not all about the numbers, but of course you want to see, all the results of all the hard work you put in. But I think it would have been a success either way. I mean, if you think about it, you had people coming in planes, hopping on planes and trains and automobiles, carpooling together. Like I mean, I guess when I think about it, is like, how cool is it that you built it and the people came? It's that, the phrase from that movie, but you did that. So, I mean, how cool is that just to feel knowing you created that and people came?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that really like took me aback is that it's just a really big risk to take, like especially knowing that people are spending their hard-earned money. There may be one or two vacations a year in some cases. Some people are just down to go on random trips all the time. But for other people who maybe have a little more on their plate, they got a full-time job, they're married, it's a
Yep.
big risk to um to go out to an event that has never happened before and you really don't know what it's going to look like. And that was actually like a good motivation slash scared the shit out of me, a few weeks before, which was like, oh, if this thing's a dud, it's going to be a nightmare and these people are all going to resent me. So I hope that, we live up to the expectation. And I think that, from the people I talked to, they were really stoked about the event. And, the magic is just getting all the people together. I mean, even if I had failed as an event organizer, I think people would have had a good time because there's great places to skate here and there's places to drink, and you can sort out the rest. And the weather was nice, so
Yeah,
um,
it looked out for you. I mean, I think, as creators, right? We always question our or doubt like our abilities or, how we can, work on our project, but that's common for us, right? But I think how important, how was your confidence actually going into Slow Impact day 1 versus day 4? Like, did you notice a shift in your confidence by that 4th day?
yeah, I mean, I also just was like really burnt out because I was at the panels before every morning setting up, and then
Oh
I
yeah.
I foolishly stayed at each bar till close. And yeah, so I was just really tired, but yeah, definitely confident. I mean, it just, we've said this before, but it definitely felt like adult summer camp. And um I think not just me, but everyone there was
Mhm.
really comfortable by, day 2, day 3, because you've met these people, you've partied with them, you've skated with them, you've, had some good conversations at that point. So everyone starts to loosen up at that point. And yeah, I think that, things were going smoothly. So that is like a good, encouraging, uh, you know, force for you, like going into the end of the event. I felt like very, very comfortable with like people were having a good time and things were, moving along well.
Yeah, and I know, like you said, you're busy, you're setting up, you're shutting bars down. I mean, did you have a chance, like a moment to maybe kind of absorb it all at the time of, or did you know even while it was happening that you were creating like something really special?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak too uh hyperbolically, but I definitely like there were moments that the event that happened in my backyard was a lot of work to put on, and that was Kyle's reading and Jim
Hmm.
T read and Marby and Chandler, Christian Kerr, handful of other people, and then Sean Bonnet from AJJ did his cover skate video cover band, and that was just like a really special night for everyone. And it was more of an intimate setting than the other events, and I think I cried that night. Like
Hmm.
the weight of all of it was really heavy for me. And yeah, it was just a really, special feeling, like knowing that, we all put so much work into this and
Hmm.
it was paying off. And that also we got so many skaters to a place where they could be vulnerable enough to do something like a skate reading, which is not a thing that is super common in skateboarding. And just to kind of like speak candidly or uh write some fiction or nonfiction that relates to skateboarding, which again is a kind of unique thing that doesn't exist all the time, and it just worked out really well. It was just a super lovely night. And then yeah, obviously like the panels too, like those were not things that I really had a huge hand in organizing, other than picking the people that were going to run the panels. And I'm very grateful that the people who decided to take the helm of those just did such a knockout job. Ted Barrow, Kristen Ebling, and Maurice Crandall all, organized their whole panels, laid everything out and just carried out a really special conversation on whatever their subject was. And I think a lot of people, learned a lot and felt really privileged to be in that space.
Yeah. And that's cool. And then you mentioned too, the event, one of the events, the readings, you said it was at your house. I think that helped too. Obviously it gave you a chance to kind of, like you said, you got a little emotional, but I think it made everyone else probably a little more comfortable. And they're like, this is a backyard. It's not at some town hall or even, I mean, it could have been at Skate After School. I'm sure they would have had the same, but it's cool you did it at your house. But throwing parties and cleanup is not as fun, but it was worth it. But I got to admit, dude, my FOMO, I mean, I told myself, I'm not going to have FOMO. It's out of my control. I can't make it this week. I think you even messaged, are you going to come? I'm like, I can't. Or maybe I would have been able to come for like 4 hours, but that's not worth the plane ride back. But dude, my FOMO was hardcore after seeing all the tweets, the videos, and how much fun everyone has. I'm like, damn, I'm missing out on something big. So I was big time FOMO. I didn't tell myself. I'm like, Rick, don't be, it's out of your control, man. But it happened.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can relate. I feel that all the time.
I mean, have you read like any of like, the amazing tweets or comments or videos? And people did write-ups about this. Have you have a chance to read any of those? Have you heard about any of those that they've written about the event?
I have read, some stuff definitely that's on Twitter. I tend not to read feedback about things that I do. I just, it feels like too intimate in a way that it doesn't seem appropriate. So a lot of times when I I tuned into the Mostly Skate episode that they did for about 20 seconds, and I was like, I can't, like, I really appreciate those guys doing that episode. I'm super grateful that they came out. They're awesome. Patrick and Mike both came out, and it seemed like they had a really great time. But I just, for whatever reason, personally, I have like a weird aversion to listening to people speak, even praise or criticism about the things that I do, and I'm just like, were they happy? Did they have a good time? Great. If not, like, this is a conversation for the listeners of their podcast, not for me personally.
Yeah.
So,
no, I get.
I'm like, I have like a strong line of like, I don't read comments from people on YouTube or anything like that. Like, I'm like, no, it doesn't matter to me. It's just put it out there into the void. Hopefully people like it. If they don't and they want to talk shit, whatever, that's fine too. But I'm not gonna read it.
Exactly. No, I respect that, dude. I mean, because like, Thomas Barker, I wrote down some names. Patrick Kagongo obviously wrote a nice piece. Eat the Baloney, Nigel, Jamie. I mean, the list went on and on and on. And they all had amazing things to say. And I wrote down 2 key words on my notes here. They wrote life changing. So that's why I want to bring up like that. They mentioned that. So many people mentioned that. I was like, it came up a lot.
Yeah, that's I mean, I don't know what to say other than that's like really special to hear. Like, that's the best thing that you could hope for from doing an event like this. And I think that, I have had the fortune of going to events like Pushing Borders and Wheels of Fortune and Copenhagen Open as well. And, this event was kind of birthed out of that, but those also had, life-changing qualities to them, especially Pushing Borders. And so, it's really good to hear. And also, I think kind of speaks to the fact that there is just a dearth of events like this. There's just not a whole lot in this space where you can get, and I don't know the right term for it, but like, basically skate nerds, like people who are just think way too much about skateboarding. There's just not a whole lot of events that cater to that group. And so hopefully, there will be more of them. Not just our event, but I'm hoping that, it kind of births a whole slew of events in this kind of category.
Yeah, I agree. And, it sounded like, the panels were amazing, but I think you already mentioned it, the coming together of many of the skate Twitter crew, and, shout out to those guys and gals. But it appears to be like, that was like one of the main highlights of the week. I mean, also, obviously, like you said, you brought together Mostly Skateboarding's Patrick Kagongo and Mike Munsrider. First time ever. You did that. Have they thanked you, by the way, for bringing them together yet? No, I'm kidding.
Patrick actually sent me literally one of the nicest gifts ever, which was a handwritten card on Patrick Kagongo, embossed letterhead paper.
Nice.
And a Palestine Football Association jersey that fits perfectly. And
I did see that. The jersey.
One of my favorite articles of clothing that I own now. And I was like, wow, what an incredibly good gift giver, and also just like adult. When there's people out there that you're just like, you're just such an adult. You write handwritten thank you cards after a nice thing happens. I'm like, I wish I had that level of organization.
Same here, man. I'm same here.
Yeah.
It's like thumb out a text maybe, but yeah, it's like but yeah. But that's cool. But yeah, I heard that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. 3 years in the making, all thanks to Ryan. No big deal, right? No big deal. You made it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it took that event to bring them together. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, that's why I want to mention, because obviously I'm not gonna read the tweets, or I didn't bring them on to thank you in person right now. But no, there was just a lot of good things that was said about it. But I understand, your point of view. Like, nah, I don't, I know that it's out there, but I don't need to hear the praise. I mean, but it, just so I did a little research for us. It's out
Okay.
there, dude, and
Okay.
it was all very, very good. So.
Cool.
So pat yourself on the back is what I'm saying. If you don't do that often, but at least you deserve it after this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, it was a lot of work, so I'm very thankful that people had a good time, and
Yeah.
hopefully it enables us to do it in the future again.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you changed people's lives. I don't know if you know that. I mean, was that part of the plan? You're like going in, I'm gonna change people's lives.
Not really, not really, but I think that speaks to like a broader phenomenon, like especially post. We're not post COVID, but like post living through the last 3 years of a pandemic, is that
Mm,
people are feeling really alienated and
yeah.
lonely. And one of the goals of this event was that hopefully we could connect people that only really interact with other skaters online, and give them a space, a physical space in the real world that they could come and hang out and get to know people. And I there's a lot of people that I'm thankful that everyone came, but the people that I'm the most grateful for are the people who don't know anyone in that came to the event, and they just came out here alone, like on a total whim, which is a very bold move. And yeah, it's just cool to hear that, because it's one thing if you have a couple buddies and you're like, well, I'm already going to be planning this vacation anyways, we'll have a good time and go skate regardless of if the event's a disaster. But to take the risk alone and take that plunge is pretty. That's a big it's a big ask. So very, very grateful for those people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's like, what a huge step for someone to do that. You kind of, introvert anyway, and a lot of us skateboarders are, but more often than not, right? But to hop on a plane and go out to this event, and it's a multiple day event, and to actually stay and participate was, I mean, it says a lot about what was provided, through this, slow impact event. So very, very
Yeah,
cool.
and people, came out and got Airbnbs with people that they never met before, which I thought
Yeah.
was really cool to see. I was hoping that would be the case, and it seemed like some people actually did do that, which was really, yeah, it's just super neat. Like they were lodging with people that they'd never met before, and prior to even the event starting, they're having to, share space with them. So, yeah, super rad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thinking about just the short conversation we've had just right now is that, obviously there's some kind of connection or talent or something that you're doing, obviously with Skate After School and now this, you have a gift of like bringing, skaters and humans together and inspiring them. So I don't know, I just popped into my head. I had to vocalize it, and I noticed kind of the parallels for that. So I don't know if you know this. Obviously, you're doing great things for kids, and obviously you're doing for the older groups. I mean, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I think if like I have any role as a pro skateboarder, with some level of uh notoriety or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to call it fame, but like I have an audience. It's that I can organize people that I think are really talented that might not have as big of an audience. And um one thing that I was like really firm about is that I didn't really want to be involved in any of the events. I just wanted to be like a kind of background character that
Mm,
organized a lot of it. And that was really great because I didn't have to speak on any panels, and I didn't have to speak at the reading or do anything that was, any of the scary stuff. It was just kind of all legwork. And um, I think that I'm kind of like trading on my name to get people out here. But I think that a lot of people left having just really memorable experiences, and memorable experiences with certain skaters and skate riders that they never heard of before.
mm,
Like there were so many stars of the event, like Cole Nowicki or Christian
mm,
Kerr or Ty Thompson, Cecily, who owns Enchantment Skate Shop. Like they were not people that were all on my radar, and they were just like the stars of the event. And I'm so thankful that like the people uh who got them out here, whether it was Kyle or it was Mo, you know, they had such good judgment in that. And so yeah, I don't know. I kind of long-winded answer, but I just feel like that's the tool that you kind of have as a pro skater is like, well, I'm the crux of all of this, and like getting all of the people here, you know, because I have an audience. You know, might as well do it, right? You got to do something with your skate career.
Yeah, no, I go. And I think you're being, uh, no disrespect, you're being a little humble. I think a lot of the people that showed up, I'm not speaking for everyone, don't take that wrong to the people listening, but I think they came because of you. I see that. They're all, you know what? Ryan Lay's an awesome dude, awesome human. I respect him. I want to support what he's doing. So I think a huge majority of the people came out just to support you as well. So that's just what I think, you know, just at least from what I've heard. So I mean, yeah, your name carried a lot with this event. I mean, yeah, could someone else pull this off? You know, probably just as successful, maybe, you know, but I think a lot of they came out just for you. So that's cool too that they did that.
Well, if they did, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's just what I know. So I mean, and Emery, I know you mentioned too the panels. So you didn't have too much say in that. Was, I mean, how difficult were they to narrow down? I mean, did you have a lot of panels you had to choose from, and how difficult was it to make them a reality? Because you only had 4, right, total?
We had
Or
3
3?
panels total. We also had the reading, which kind of like fits into the core of kind of like the vegetables component of the event, you know?
Yeah.
And like so planning wise, initially I was like, well, pushing borders was too many panels, and
Mm,
most skate events I think probably could benefit from a panel. And so we were just trying to strike that balance, and for us that ended up being cutting it down from 5 to 3, which was basically a panel discussion every morning, which I felt like was enough. You know, like it felt like a good balance of, you know, you have coffee, you ingest some, you know, panel discussion that feels a little more highbrow than probably what you're used to in the normal skate media landscape, or like at a skate event,
hmm.
and it's just 2 hours or so and then you're ready to go skate. So um I kind of like initially had like a few people in mind. Mo's a good friend of mine who teaches history, specifically Native American history at ASU. And then obviously my co-hosts at Bend City, like I reached out to Kristen Ebling and Alex White. Kristen ended up having a tour. So, and then Ted Barrow fit in there. And so I had like a loose idea of what I thought might be interesting panels, but at the same time, I wanted to delegate as much as possible just so
Mm,
I didn't burn myself out. And
mm,
um, I figured, you know, who do you think you could get on a panel, and what is an interesting conversation you can have with those people? So
yeah.
um, sometimes that worked with figuring out the idea and then figuring out the panelists, or doing the inverse of that, which was like finding some people and then kind of figuring out what would be an interesting conversation with them. So
Yeah.
yeah, and for the most part, you know, there were a lot of people on the panels that I'd never met before. They were just connected to us through the panel host, and it just worked out great. Like
Yeah.
they all killed it. It was awesome.
Were there any like topics that you kind of had, like you said, you wanted to just keep 3? Were there like 6, 7, 8, or whatever topics you had to kind of narrow down, or was this it just happened to work out? You had 3 and you were ready to roll with those.
No, we definitely had. I mean, there's so many interesting conversations to have about skateboarding right now, and
Hmm.
like conversations that I'm interested in. And so no, it just ended up being that like those were the 3 that we settled on. We definitely could have done like 5 more though, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when we went to Pushing Borders, it was probably like maybe 9 or 12, like somewhere in that range. So,
Yeah.
you know, obviously lots of interesting topics going on in skating. It's just, you know, a big component of it is like having the funding to get people out here. And like thankfully ASU, the department that Mo works in, kicked in to like help fund all of the panels. So everyone got
Nice.
a flat fee, which is the same amount.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. I mean, just personally, I think 3 is a good number. Like, you know, having more than one in a day, I mean, is that overkill? And then if you add that, you know, 3 or 4 days, you know, 6 to 8, you know, that's a lot. So yeah, three's a good magic number. So, I mean, I know many skaters are already talking about the next low impact. I mean, is this something you see happen again next year, or is it too soon to ask you?
I think if we can get the funding, I'd like to do it. It seems to dovetail like nicely with what I want to do career wise.
Mm,
And I mean, a big impetus for doing the event was that I'm rooted in Arizona for
hmm.
family and, also housing affordability.
Yeah.
And so, if I'm going to be here, like I want to invite people out here. And, I said this before, but like one of the benefits that we have is that we have great weather in the wintertime. And, if you live in the Midwest or the Northwest or the Northeast, you're looking for somewhere sunny to get away. So I don't see why not. It just kind
Hmm.
of depends on the funding. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can get more funding next year and have a even bigger event. So
Yeah.
I liked planning it, and I think that planning it will be even easier next year. And it seems like, there's an audience for it that are going to be excited about it. So, yeah, it kind of all just depends on how I'm feeling skate wise and career
Hmm.
wise, and if we can get more money for it for next
Yeah.
year, or at least the same amount of money. But doesn't look like there are too many hiccups because all the sponsors were really pleased with it. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, that means it'll continue to grow. And, I'm thinking hypothetically down the road, you guys have this is a traveling event. I don't know. I'm not going to be biased and say there's one in the Bay Area, but, it could happen where it grows and then just you're like, oh man, look what I've created now. And like, I could see that happening. So, you
Sure,
know,
yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people have mentioned that, and I would also encourage anyone who's listening that if you're thinking about doing it, I mean, reach out to me, and you can. I don't know. I'm down to help give any sort of input, but
yeah,
there's lots of places where an event like this would be great,
I
and
agree.
also universities everywhere have money, so try to figure out
Mm.
how to tap into that.
That's some good knowledge right there, everyone. That is
Yeah,
good knowledge. Yeah, you can think about it. It's like you can't do it. You don't have to do it all by yourself. The universities, they've got that one little line item that they can, contribute and help out someone. That's awesome.
yeah.
Cool. So, any are there any crazy stories that you maybe haven't shared, or any behind the scenes drama? I don't think there's any of that, but is there anything that maybe like the general, even the people that attended didn't see, or maybe know went down,
Um,
or am I reaching too hard for that one?
I don't think so.
No crazy parties afterward. No, you know what I
There
mean?
were parties afterwards that I wasn't involved in because I was way too tired. But no, I mean, I just, like I said this a lot at the event, but there's just a lot of people behind the scenes who helped out a lot. That's obviously not like a crazy story. There's always
Yeah.
people there, but
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
a- as part of the event was me renovating my house and like getting it up to uh what felt like a good decent standard for hosting a party. And
Yeah.
Eli and Giacomundo from Skate Twitter both came out early and helped me move so much shit, and I felt
Dude,
terrible about
nice.
it. Yeah, like install a Murphy bed, help me like move around a bunch of furniture, like all sorts of things. So they were really helpful. And then no, honestly, like I think the thing that was the most miraculous was that everything went off without a hitch. Like we didn't
Hmm.
have permits for any of the skate events,
Oh yeah, huh?
and even like the events at our warehouse, we were kind of iffy about because we knew that people would be drinking and kind of like walking in and out, and I didn't know what the deal would be. And just somehow every event was like well attended, maxed out, and we didn't have any issues with cops or anything like that. Like just no one got hurt. I will say that one good story is that we did the product toss, and Walker Ryan had sent us some of the old friends physical therapy stuff that they make.
Nice. Yeah.
They make like foam rollers and
Yeah. He's got
jump
that
ropes and stuff
podcast
like.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he sent some foam rollers, and so I'm standing on top of the wedge with a mound of product, and
Oh boy.
we're like, hey, we're gonna do the product toss. And like we announced it. There's like kind of like some people congregating. I was like, hey, if you're not here for the product toss, like please disperse. And there's a lot of people there. And I take a foam roller, and there's two types of foam rollers. There's like the really lightweight foam ones that, basically like you could throw and they're like not barely even gonna move because they don't weigh anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's these ones that have thick plastic and they've got like a ribbing around them. And I chuck one of those, and it just nails this dude right in the head. Like I throw it like 30 feet and it just nails him right in the head. And I'm like, dude, he's got a huge welt on the side of his head. And I felt so terrible about it. And then
Yeah.
I had a conversation with him, and he was cool about it. And I apologized profusely. And I was like, let me know if there's anything you need. And he was like, actually, I need a foam roller. So we ended up
Yeah.
giving him the foam roller that he got hit in the head with. And then,
Nice.
yeah, and then someone else unfortunately got hit in the head with a deck that I did not throw.
Oh yeah.
I know better than to throw a deck into a crowd, but
Oh yeah, that's always dangerous when I see decks flying like that. Stickers one thing, t-shirts one thing, but decks, if you're not paying attention, whoo.
yeah, and it's like if you have a really tight crowd of people who all have their hands in the air, it's
Yeah.
really fine. But if if you have any sort of like dispersed quality, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and also just Renee from Blunt Steel, like he donated those rails to us that we skated,
Nice.
and he drove them out here and donated them, so which was so cool of him. And just yeah, definite shout out to Renee. Those things are awesome, and I would encourage anyone out there to support him because
Yeah.
they're really fun to skate.
I got one literally a foot from me right down on the ground.
Hell yeah.
It's the 5-foot one, but yeah, you guys you were rocking. How was it, 2 8-foot ones that you guys connected? Because you were killing that.
Well, we
how long
built
was
it specifically for the event. I measured it, so it was 4-inch 21 footer, and then a 15-inch 21 footer.
Yeah. No, it's great. I speak from experience. You got great products there, but yeah, it was so cool to see that. You guys, that makes sense. Yeah, it was perfectly. Yeah, it was measured perfectly for that. I'm like, how could they? Like you said, the stars are all aligned. It fits perfectly. Now we can skate it, but that makes sense, dude.
Yeah. And yeah, now we have them, so we can use them for next year, or like another event. It was cool. But yeah, nothing too crazy, I don't think. I mean, everyone drank semi-responsibly, and I don't think anyone drove, which was good. We try to keep everything really local and encourage people to stay local so that they
Mhm.
could, get around without a car, and that seemed to work well. Like Phoenix, probably similar to San Jose, is not a bastion of public transit, so
Mhm.
it can be kind of challenging trying to coordinate a trip and not encouraging everybody to rent cars,
Yeah, good point.
so
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I heard a lot about carpooling. People just or skating. Getting around. Like I said, just keeping things somewhat. They can skate or or walk around. But yeah, man, that's awesome though. But yeah, and like I said earlier, it looked like an awesome event. I had tons of FOMO, and I'm just
Next
glad
year,
it was.
Rick.
I know exactly. No pressure now, man. Yeah, the FOMO's, yeah, it's not going to happen again. Don't worry. I'm not going to be. I'll be there, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
but now I feel like Giacomondo. I mean, he's setting the bar high. I have to come and fix up something in your house or something before this all done. I gotta shine.
No, my
I'm
house
sure.
is gonna be done by then. Thank the Lord.
I know,
It
huh?
has to be. So I'm definitely like gonna get ahead on all of that stuff, because I think one thing that definitely happened to me, which I knew was going to, is that you don't know what you don't know. Like
Mm,
I've never organized a big party before, and here I am like trying to organize like 8 of them, and so
yeah,
it's just like there's little gaps here and there where you're like, oh shit, yeah, like we need a PA system. Okay, I gotta like figure that
yeah.
out, or I gotta like set up a space for the band. I forgot about that. Just a million little things. So, um, but yeah.
Well, it sounded like your fiance was all on board too. I mean, she has a pretty demanding job, right? So she was all on board and obviously let you do it. She was embracing you too. It sounds like it all worked well on her front too.
I think on board is a charitable way of describing her relationship to the event. It's like on board, like a sinking ship, and you're like, well, I guess I'm just gonna go down with the ship.
Is-
Yeah,
Notice
no,
how I worded it. That I was trying to word it how I would kind of pitch it to my wife. I'm like, here's
yes, 100%. It was like a give a mouse a cookie situation. Like,
yeah.
hey, can we have like 2 volunteers stay with us during the event? And then that turned into the first night there being like 25 people over, and 6 of them being like, hey, can I stay here tonight? And I'm like,
Oh yeah. What are you gonna
yeah,
say? Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fine. Like, whatever. I basically knew that I was like, f- from from the morning of February 16th or February 15th through February 19th, I'm like, it's just going to be insane. We're not going to
Mhm.
have any private space. We're not going to get any alone time. It's just going to be chaos the whole time. And it was fun, but we
Yeah.
also like we were like both sick by the end of it. You know, like a combination of talking, drinking, and skating really hard, you know, just like smoked me. And also obviously not sleeping. So
Yeah.
I just, yeah, we were like properly sick by Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, I bet, dude. I think I hit you up a little prematurely. Oh, hey, dude, I'd love to have you on the show if it's not too early. Oh, yeah, I need a couple days more. Yeah, duh, Rick. Of course. Give this guy some time to breathe, man. It's like I'm knocking on your door. Oh, Ryan, hey.
No, it's all good. I mean, I'm thankful again that people care enough about it to talk to me about it, you know. So I'm like, it's cool that you wanted to do an episode about it.
Dude, like after the first day, I'm like, oh, I gotta talk to this guy. I gotta get this on the show. I mean, you've been on my radar for a while, but I'm like, nope, here's the sign. Reach out to him. Let's get this going. So yeah, it had to happen, man. But yeah, so I only got a couple more questions for you. I think you already mentioned earlier too, you're battling a heel injury, but so what's next for you, dude? I mean, you guys, are we going to see a sci-fi fantasy part? You working anything with New Balance? What do we expect to see from you this year?
Yeah, I think that we're hoping to work on a sci-fi video this year. My goal going into this year was like really to focus on skating. And I think that something I've been struggling with recently is that I feel like I've been doing a really good job of being a pro skater with all of the, you know, ancillary, is that the right word? Ancillary, you know, things that are kind of like the compliments to your skate career. But one thing I've not done a very good job of is like actually like making video parts. And so I just haven't been filming, you know, injuries have happened. Obviously, like work gets in the way. I'm getting married, stuff like that, real life stuff. It gets harder the older you get. So I've kind of just been like going into this year, like I need to free up as much time as possible to just focus on skating and like making time to make video parts. So I have a crux truck coming out in a couple weeks, and hopefully there will be some video that happens with that. And then I have a CCS pant that's coming out, and I'm doing some stuff with Price at the end of March with that. This is all hinging on I'm healthy by like March 18th. So
it's good.
And then
okay, it's gonna be good. You'll be good.
Yeah, I should be good. So yeah, I just, you know, I don't know. I want to like actually like take the resources that I have and focus on street skating because it's something I care a lot about, and feel like I haven't done as much as I would like. And I also feel like there's a really cool opportunity with sci-fi being a new brand that people are interested in, and you know, we haven't really done a whole lot, and we're still building the team out. So there's talks of us maybe doing a video by the end of the year if we can get our shit together.
Yeah.
I'd be really stoked on that. I mean, I think, you know, video these days means like something that's like 15 to 20 minutes, but
oh yeah, perfectly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good length. Like we're not, there's no way we're venturing into the like 40-minute territory. So yeah, I want to do that. And then I'm like trying to also focus on trail running stuff that I've been interested in. So kind of like dabbling a little more into that world. And I don't know if that means like doing some longer trails, like fast packing, which is like a faster version of backpacking, like a combination of trail running and backpacking. And then I also kind of want to run some races just to try it out. Like I've never done that before. And I'm kind of curious about, you know, trying to run some, you know, maybe like 50-mile distance or like 100K distance. I don't know. We'll see. But also very, very difficult to like do in tandem with skateboarding because they're both really heavy on your legs. So
big time. Yeah.
We'll see. But that's kind of my goal, is that like I'm taking some time away from skate after school. I'm obviously going to help out behind the scenes a lot, and you know, with all their events and trying to just be generally supportive. But I have like handed over my job to a younger friend of mine, Zamara, and yeah, they're in good hands, and I think it'll be good. So hopefully be in California a good amount, traveling, and also hopefully getting out of Arizona for, you know, May, June, July, August, maybe even September. Yeah. It's brutal here for like 4 months. So we try to leave as much as we can.
Yeah. My father-in-law lives in Clarkdale, and when he moved out there, it's been a while now. He used to be an avid golfer, like, and we'd always hit him up. Hey, you golfing? He's like, no. And after a while, he'd be like, no, if you don't get on the tees at like 6 o'clock in the morning is too hot. So he's the same way. He doesn't golf like in the summer, and just so yeah, I can relate
Yeah.
when you say you want to get out of there.
Maurice Crandall, who ran the first panel, he's from Clarkdale.
Oh yeah, no way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
random. That's a random town in
It
Arizona
is,
for
dude.
two
It's
people to be from.
exactly. I mean, they literally he has us send stuff to a PO box. It's very small. It's like he's kind of a hermit too, so it works out for him. He doesn't really talk to his neighbors. Just kind of, we Zoom with him on occasion, but that's about it. But yeah, that's a small world, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, cool. I got one more for you, dude. One more question. And this is not related to skateboarding at all. It's just my own personal knowledge. But I watched your Pocket Skate Mag Followed episode, and your the rake that you use. Do you remember the brand or the type of that rake that you have? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
The like really huge, thick one?
Yes, it's the metal. I need to know more about it. I know I'm talking about it on this podcast because I just DM'd you, but whoa, dude, fill me in the details. That boy is a beast. That's a real rake.
It is a beast. And I honestly, I don't know where I got that.
Yeah, it's all right. No pressure.
I'm looking up online though, and it looks like, it's like either a 36-inch or this looks like they have a 66-inch.
It's aluminum, right?
A 48-inch. Yeah, it's aluminum, and it's more like sturdy than a standard rake. A standard rake has the kind of like aluminum quality to it that flexes. This doesn't flex at all. And if you flip it upside down, we're just getting into we're literally getting into the weeds right now.
That's
Rick.
why I asked. I don't care at this point. Let's do this.
Yeah, because in Arizona, it's very in vogue to have a zero-escaped lawn.
Yeah.
Or front yard and backyard, which is like basically a desert landscape. So raking rocks and raking leaves out of your rocks is like a thing that a lot of people do. So, and it's perfect for that. So I will try to. I could step outside. Let me just step outside my garage real quick, and I'll look at the name, and
that'd be amazing.
Unfortunately, there's no name on it. It's been like ground off. But yeah, it's a. I think they have like a 36-inch. Looks like Corona makes one. This one's actually 66 inches. Wow,
that's a good start, man. Because literally, I can see mine from here. It looks like. I need to step my rake game up after yours, because mine looks like it would just be like a plastic fork. What the hell am I rocking with this? I gotta step it up. So I had to ask you that. I'm like, dude, he's gonna think this is the most random question, but I do not care.
No, it's cool. I actually, it is a funny thing for you to ask, because I really love that rake, and I don't know how I acquired it, and it's just it is incredible, and it's really you get that zen-like quality when you rake a big area of rocks, and it just like you can smooth it out so nicely. That's a good time. I like doing yard work though. I think I'm at that stage in my life, right, where you find a little tranquility in doing some yard work, and
it takes your mind off things. You can just be in the moment, and just kind of just chill. And
you can also listen to podcasts, which I'm sure someone right now is listening to this very podcast,
and they're all, you know what, Rick, I need to step my rake game up too. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it up.
No joke. Yeah.
My wife's gonna be like, why are you buying this new rake? I'm like, don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
That's what pros are for, is selling things like rakes,
Exactly.
It's all marketing. You didn't know that you were being sold a rake in that Pockets Followed, but you were.
I agree. I know there's at least one person listening that's benefiting. They like you said, you appreciate, it's just a rake, but it's more. Actually, sometimes it's more than a rake. So the people that get it.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with you.
Well, cool, man. Well, lastly, so where can the people find you? The fine people tuning in, where can they, obviously, social media, all that good stuff. Obviously, go listen to Vent City. But yeah, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram and Twitter. That's kind of where I spend my time. And then obviously we have the Vent City podcast. But if you're ever in Tempe, shoot me a DM. Maybe I'll meet up. And yeah, if not, my Instagram is, and Twitter is Ryan Lay. If you search it, you'll find it. So yeah, always appreciate the support.
Dude, awesome, man. Well, this has been amazing. I appreciate your time, and get some rest. I know you got this. You're gonna have a big rest of your year. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, I look forward to rolling on 4 wheels with you one day, man. We'll make it happen.
Thanks, Rick. I just wanted to say that I love what a positive force you are on skate Twitter and Instagram and all that. You
Oh,
you
thanks,
definitely
dude.
have like a good like motivating and positive vibe about you. So
Thanks, dude.
it's always helpful. You know,
I,
I think that there's a lot of bitter old guys in skateboarding, and
yes.
we don't need any more of those dudes.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I much like you don't take compliments well. I'm learning how to appreciate it. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, dude. So I really do. I
Yeah.
mean, coming from you,
It
that
it
says a
doesn't
lot.
it doesn't go unnoticed.
I appreciate it, man. But yeah, coming from you, that says a lot. And like I said, it's a mutual respect, dude. So yeah, man, all the best of luck for you. And let's do this again. You got something coming up, you want to pitch it, you want to plug it. I'm always here for you, man. You can come back on anytime.
Okay, sweet. That's great to hear.
Right on, man. Have a good one.
All right, take care.